What I did was I interviewed dozens of kids with ADHD, some of whom were in therapy with me, some of whom were in therapy with other people, some of whom never went to therapy at all. And I asked them about their experiences of living with ADHD. And of course, I spoke with some parents as well. And the information that I got from the kids fell into really 5 categories. The first category is that kids want adults to regulate themselves before they deal with the kids themselves. And this forms the first of my 5 C's of successful ADHD parenting, which is self-control. You as an adult regulate yourself, manage yourself first, and then you work with your child or teen with ADHD to manage themselves. It's kind of like the oxygen mask on an airplane. You put it on yourself first, and then you take care of your child. If you as an adult are dysregulated, if you're upset, if you're steam is coming out of your ears, you're not going to be able to think clearly with your child about what we can do in managing the eruption that's unfolding. For kids with ADHD who have a lot of trouble managing themselves, when the adults are dysregulated, it's just like throwing like fuel onto the fire that's building inside of them. And we can talk later about how adults can help manage themselves more effectively and manage their kids. So the second theme that I heard from kids was that they want to feel understood and forgiven, even if they don't understand or forgive themselves. And this led to the second C, which is compassion. Meet your child where they are, not where you think they should be or where you would like them to be. This is the core of positive parenting, positive attachment, and acceptance. We want kids with ADHD to feel like we understand what they're living with and we're working with them, not against them. The third theme that kids told me is that they want to have a say in any plans or programs that are being created for them. And this is because they often are told what to do, and what they're told to do doesn't necessarily make sense to their particular brain. And so this formed the third C, which is collaboration. How do you work with a child with ADHD towards a goal that you share together? And this means you're doing you're doing a strength-based program that is focused on incentives that motivate kids, that matter to kids themselves. When kids participate in the creation of any plan or program, they have more buy-in and therefore more participation and better cooperation. The fourth theme I heard from kids was that it's really upsetting for them and very hard when parents don't do what they say they're going to do. And this is because these are very concrete thinkers. And when parents shift from one thing to another, when they say they're going to do something and then don't do it, it's hard for these kids to understand, what am I supposed to expect? And a lot of this has to do with the fact that kids with ADHD really benefit from routines. So what we're talking about here is consistency, the fourth C. This is not perfection. These kids don't expect you to get it right all the time. But when things change, they need a frame for that. These kids also want to be acknowledged for what I call efforting. Efforts that they're making over and over again towards a goal that you're working on. A lot of times what happens is they receive negative feedback about what they're not doing, how they're missing the mark. This does not help them build positive self-esteem or stick-to-itiveness. We want to acknowledge kids' efforts so that they can come back to things, so that they understand that trial and error learning is normal. It's how we move. The last theme I heard from these kids was they want more positivity from the adults they engage with. And it's interesting because Dr. Barbara Fredrickson has done quite a bit of research on positivity. She wrote a book called Positivity. And what she found is that the ideal positivity ratio is 3 to 1. 3 positives for every negative. Now, when I've been on the road and I've spoken with parents about what they think the ratio is for their children, what I hear them say is they think their children get anywhere from one positive for 10, 15, or even 20 negatives per day. When I've asked kids themselves, a group of teenagers told me that actually one girl said, she asked me what I say to myself or what other people say to me. And I said both. And she said then 1 to 30. So the fifth C is celebration. And this is about acknowledgement and validation. We verbally observe what kids are doing, we notice it, and we give them positive feedback. We don't bake a cake because they clear the table, but we give them a high five. We make eye contact, and we let them know that we appreciate that they're following through with their chores. So those are the 5 C's that I put forth in my book, and I try to teach to parents all around the world.